All right, good morning, Miss Athens class. So, we're in chapter 16 of Pinocchio. It's called Pinocchio Meets the Shark. In the last chapter, Pinocchio was sold to a circus, and he saw a fairy when he was performing his first trick, so he couldn't go through with it. And the circus master was about to sell him, but Pinocchio broke free. Pinocchio ran so fast that upon reaching the cliff next to the sea, he couldn't stop. He plunged right over the edge. He inhaled a great deal of water and thought he would drown. And perhaps he would have, had thousands of fish not suddenly surrounded him. Sent, they said, by fairy. The fish began to nibble on his ears, his nose, his neck, and his mane. One fish even did him the great favor of eating his hairy tail. So they're eating all the parts of the donkey that are in Pinocchio. When the fish were done eating all the meat, they came to the bones, or rather in Pinocchio's case, to the wood that the puppet was made of. But it was very hard wood, the kind that gave fish indigestion. And so they swam away, and the puppet was saved. Pinocchio was light and bouncy puppet once more, and he turned and started to swim out to sea. Soon he spotted a large white rock in the middle of the sea. On the rock stood a little blue goat, bleating and beckoning to the puppet. Something about the goat seemed familiar. It was her blue hair, Pinocchio realized. It reminded him of fairies. Kicking his legs even harder, he swam towards the rock to greet her. Just then, however, a horrible sea monster with huge head lunged out of the water in front of him. Do you know who it was? None other than the enormous shark that has already been mentioned in this story. The one that swallowed Geppetto. Look out! Bleated the little blue goat, and Pinocchio tried to look out. He swam and kicked as hard as he could, but it was no use. The monster opened its mouth and Pinocchio disappeared into it. Pinocchio found himself resting on the shark's tongue in between 3 rows of gleaming white teeth. A second later, however, and without even chewing him first, the shark swallowed the tiny puppet as easily as if he were a pill. So that tells you how big the shark is, right? That he swallowed Pinocchio whole. He sucked Pinocchio down deep into his stomach with one satisfied gulp. Pinocchio must have fainted from fear or hit his hard wooden head during the fall. When he awoke, he could not remember where he was. It was pitch black and in that shark's stomach. Once in a while, a cold breeze blew. Sometime later, Pinocchio remembered what had happened and realized that the breeze was from the shark breathing. The poor shark was suffering from asthma, so it was some breeze. Pinocchio burst into tears. Help! Help! He cried. Oh, poor me. Won't someone come and save me? And who do you think will hear you and help you in here? Said a rough, gravelly voice beside Pinocchio. Who's there? Pinocchio whispered. It turned out that the voice belonged to a poor tunny fish, which had also been swallowed by the shark. What kind of fish are you? The tunny fish asked. What are we going to do? Pinocchio replied, ignoring the question. Wait until the shark has digested us both, I suppose, the tunny shark said in a resigned voice. But I don't want to be digested, shouted Pinocchio, starting to sob. Well, neither do I, said the tunny. But I suppose dying this way is more dignified than dying in a fried pan. Pinocchio guessed that the tunny fish was right, and he was certainly grateful that he was no longer covered in flour. But unlike the tunny fish, he refused to give up so easily. Just then, about a mile in the distance, Pinocchio thought he saw a faint light. Thinking he might find some other poor swallowed soul, possibly a wise old fish who might know how to escape, Pinocchio vowed to reach the light. Come with me, Pinocchio suggested. No way, the tunny sighed. I'm too scared to try. Good luck and goodbye. So that's the end of this chapter. But the next chapter, I'm excited for. All right, tune in tomorrow to see what happens. Bye, everybody.